Well done. I'm going to interrupt you because I just want to cover a couple of points. It's definitely an interesting piece. It'll be fun to play. You have very few technical issues, but there's one thing that is holding you back a great deal, and it's actually your little finger. It's 90%, more than 90% of the time in the air. And it's really what's missing. I notice it specifically. I can talk about it with great knowledge because I struggled against this problem myself for probably 4 or 5 years before I really forced myself to use the little finger as an integral part of my bow hand. Did you play the violin? Yes. Yeah, and violinists don't need it. I know lots of great violinists who play with the little finger in the air. I want you to start again, especially the introduction, which is so beautiful. I think all of the problems that I noticed, at least I hope that's the case, are going to be instantly solved. You lose the quality of the sound when you get to the upper half of the bow, and your little finger's in the air there. I learned a couple of things. One is that I'm talking about my own personal problems that I had to deal with when I was studying. One is that I had a tendency to pull the bow slightly behind me. And when you do that, if you're playing a note and you have a tendency to do that, then of course the bow is no longer parallel to the bridge, and you get a total drop in the quality. You're very well set up. You don't have any problems with pulling behind or anything like that. But one of the things that helped me with that problem, my personal problem, was to keep the little finger on the inside edge of the stick. We've all got that octagonal thing there. Don't put it on the top because it slips. You've got no traction and you've not got no grip. On that inside slip, and I try almost always now, automatically. It's become totally second nature, thank goodness, because it's changed my sound. When I get beyond the middle, then I consciously push a tiny bit towards the floor in front of me there. So it's not possible for me to get above the middle and have my little finger sticking up in the air, because I feel now, fortunately, decades later, completely wrong. I need to have that feeling that I'm pushing actively out, away from my body when I get towards the tip. That was a fix because I was pulling behind. You don't have that problem, but you do have this problem. And the quality of your sound when you get to the tip and when you're changing bows at the tip, it's the same thing down at the heel, is less beautiful. Let's put it that way. You have a nice sound, beautiful sound. When it gets exciting, when we got into the Allegro passage there were quite a lot of things that I just couldn't hear. And I think it's because we've talked a lot about weight transfer today. And with what you've got, with what you've studied and the way your arms and shoulders look and everything's totally relaxed and it's all good. You've got a great posture. I'm hoping that if you try now for me to play again from the beginning and think about nothing else except that fourth finger, and let's see what a difference it makes. Good. I just want to just spend 2 seconds talking about what I notice as a difference. It's a much more homogeneous sound. The sound is of a better quality, first of all. It will improve as you start. 2 things I have to realise for myself. You were nervous when you stood up and played the first time, and sound quality is something that comes when you start to relax a little bit. But the consistency of the sound was 100% better when you had this. Technically, a whole lot of other things started to work for you. When you're coming from a single note and then you have to change bow to a double stop, this coordination problem that we know it's a problem. If you have to play something like, and the up bow suddenly has 2 notes instead of just 1. If my little finger isn't engaged, fully engaged in changes like that, then the coordination never works for me. It worked every single time for you now, and there were 6 or 7 instances the first time you played it where it didn't. And so I think it really is going to change the way you play. I'd like you to start, again, we don't need the piano introduction. This is just switched off, I'm sorry, I don't need it anymore. Just the second where we stopped now, just keep going. Maybe just 1 bar, 1 measure just to come in.
Oh, this is the second one.
The second section. Yep. Sorry. It's already a better quality sound. Can I ask you to switch this back on again, or somebody it's suddenly just because I didn't touch it, just so I can read it. You've got to find it, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Okay. It's interesting, something as lyrical as this, if we're it's also very important. It's not just a question of the consistency of the quality of the sound, which I'm convinced my 4th finger is mightily responsible for, but it's bow control and bow speed. You have a beautiful sound at the beginning, and as it went on, there was a little bit of discrepancy in your bow speed. And discrepancy, I just mean it somehow gets in the way of what you want to do, the flow of the phrase. If I play... I'm exaggerating, but sudden changes of speed are going to be noticeable. They're not noticeable to you because you're standing here under pressure, but everyone else is listening to it, and that's the sorts of things that happen in audition situations. You do an audition and you think, yeah, I thought I played it quite well, but for everyone who's there, they're looking at things like that and listening to it. Just try and play that passage one more time, just directly from the entrance at figure 4, and as smooth as you can. If you really want to make a smooth line, there can't be changes in bow speed. It has to be as consistent as you can get it. Good. 2 things are happening now. One is that you've got a bass sound that you could make more beautiful. You're being very careful there. I could have a bit more quality, a little bit more depth to the sound, but you're being excellent with your fourth finger, and every single little thing like this this double stop, it speaks immediately. The fact that it speaks immediately is something that's a little bit new to you, because when you've got your fourth finger in the air, it doesn't happen. The immediacy is almost imperceptible, but it makes such a difference to you as a performer if you can rely on the fact that you know that no matter what's going on, if you change that bow and there's a double stop to be hit at the tip, that both notes are going to sound perfectly because this is right, then that gives you a great deal of satisfaction. And with satisfaction you get relaxation, and with relaxation everything gets better. So I want to hear it one more time. Try to create a beautiful sound, beautiful vibrato. Experiment a little bit with your bow speed. You could be slightly more flautando, whatever you like to do. Just create something that's a bit more magical. Okay? Good. Look, this stability has already given you a certain amount of confidence. You're not used to it yet, but I can see it and I can hear it. The fact that you change I see it in your face and I see it in physical perception. You do a change into a double stop or something like that, and because of the way you've practiced it, you're almost expecting it not to be clean. And when it is clean, you're pleasantly surprised, or perhaps not even pleasantly, just surprised. Get used to it. Because the fourth finger really does make a better quality sound. Bow changes, support of line, phrase, everything you need, you can find with that, I'm sure.